in the UK. Hello, everybody and listeners out there. We are so excited to have you on our show today. This is KlsRadio, Walking, that teaches us how to walk in the footsteps of Jesus. We are starting and premiering our show today, and our show is documenting the history of the church in Nigeria. And we're going to be doing that and coming along you on this journey as we overview certain facts that are traced out and absorbed and documented from books, reviews, excerpts, and anywhere we can possibly lay our hands on any information that gives us some clue as to the history of development of the Pentecostal movement of the church and how we have gotten to where we are right now in our church today. And to do that with me today, I have a very lovely lady who is someone she's just such an amazing person. I'm not going to do too much. I'm just going to be allowing her to introduce herself, even though she's going to try to be humble. But she is such an amazing person in the person of Jumai. And I'll just leave you to actually tell all the audience about who it is that is in the studio with us this afternoon. So, young lady, you want to introduce yourself to all our audience listening and tuning in to us this afternoon?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Demo. It's so good to be here. I'm excited. And my name is Jumai Abaka. I'm just a child of God, and that's it.
Just a child of God.
I don't know what introduction you want me to give again, but let's just go right in.
All right, so we'll be jumping around. I'd spare you today and not give you all the details and the juicy facts I have about Jumai. Jumai has been a believer since way back, like how many years now? But I know you since you were knee-high. You've probably been rolling with Jesus back then. So it's such a great thing to have you on the show with us, and all of that. And part of the reason why I got you on this review with me and is because you've practiced. You've been a practicing Christian for a pretty long time. That I believe that your Christianity has spanned over, maybe almost 2 decades, if I can be certain. But it's over one. Yeah, it's over one. That's like over 2 decades of practicing, still in the faith. Unlike a couple of people that we've known. We've had people who started out on the journey with us, and unfortunately, for some reason or the other, they kind of maybe took a detour. And hopefully we'd find them back as we journey along this way. But I want to tap from your wealth of knowledge and experience, and perhaps get a feel of your own opinions as to where it is and how we've gotten here. But to help us on this particular journey, I stumbled across a book that in fact, the interesting thing was that you recommended the book for me, and I was going through the book, and the book is titled Messenger, Sidney Elton and the Making of the I'll take that again. The book is titled The Messenger. It's Sidney Elton and the Making of Pentecostalism in Nigeria. It is authored by Ayodeji Abodunde, he's also the author of A Heritage of Faith. Now, an interesting thing about this particular book, someone was quoted to have said that I'm just going to read that from the book. It says that this book is a remarkable achievement. It will be an invaluable resource for those interested in the history of the Nigerian Christianity, especially its Pentecostal and So that is University of Pennsylvania, the author of The Enchanted Calvinism, and that's his own take. And I feel like that's one of the takes that really aptly summarizes the journey of this book and the content of the book and what it's trying to capture. Mm-hmm. Part of the reason why I did pick this particular book was because of its central character, which is charismatic figure, and I was so intrigued by his journey, and I took so today I think we're just going to focus on a few particular aspects of how he right. I think that in this series we're covering this book first. Since we started out with this particular book, we'd be taking this book and just looking through the in-depth details of his journey and the work that he did here in Africa, in the land of Elisha, as most of us are very aware of that. So Juma, the first thing I'd like to just tease you with is you've read the book as well, and one of the things that I found how he got his calling to actually come down to that grew up in the UK. He grew up in the town of Shrewsbury, right, in somewhere in London, I guess, in those areas anyway. And it that he wasn't someone who, a lot of times he came to Nigeria as a missionary.
Yeah.
And what struck me in reading that story was the nature of how he was called. A lot of things that are strikingly different in our time right about now. So I'll tell you some things to give it a